What's up, guys? We are Past Pop Culture. My name is Ricky with my co-host, Mrphen.
Yo.
And today we're going to be talking about a couple things. The leaks, I guess. Like, I don't know how much we got to be careful. We are going to be talking about leaks. So the GTA 6 leaks and the Diablo 4 leaks. We're not showing any gameplay or anything. We're just kind of discussing the conversation around it because there's a lot of interesting aspects and a lot of hate. I'm honestly feel bad for some of these developers because the community has been kind of beating down on them, which is really sad. We're also talking about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the multiplayer. We're going to let you know our thoughts, kind of like how we felt gameplay wise, and kind of like what we think the outlook is going to be for Call of Duty for the next, like, what, 2-3 years, I guess? Because, 2 years. Also, Nintendo being big dum-dums as usual. There's an article basically saying that these ex Nintendo employees say that the Pokemon company compared Nuzlocke runs to ROM hacks. Nuzlocke runs to ROM hacks. Nuzlocke runs to ROM hacks. I want you guys to understand that. That's you releasing a Pokemon. Okay, we won't go into that because then we still got other stuff. But Constantine 2 also been confirmed. Keanu Reeves will be returning. We have like J.J. Abrams coming back in. Even though he's supposed to be making a Constantine TV show on HBO Max, I have no idea what's going on at HBO Max. They just, I don't know. Warner Brothers is a mess in general. A Gran Turismo movie? You put Keck W in there. I was like, really? Are we serious? Like, This is why it's like Hollywood. You don't have to make a movie about everything. Like, this is how you can tell that it's just so devoid of any creativity. When you're just like, oh, let's see this video game and cast this actor and yeah, boom, money. And
you like cars, just, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
There's plenty of Cars movies already. We don't need another. Okay, so I guess the first thing we'll talk about, Modern Warfare 2. I think while it isn't a unanimous, everyone's like, woo, Call of Duty this year, I think it satisfies enough people, I guess, like to say that I think it's a good game, personally. Yeah, I know you liked it.
I agree, but they just released patch notes.
Ooh, okay.
Literally 20 minutes ago, and a lot of people are mad.
Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about the patch notes.
Yeah,
where do you
so
have them?
I have a Twitter about it. So they pretty much kind of said what they're thinking for weekend 2, and they are hearing feedback, which I guess is good, but they're standing firm on some of the positions they are choosing. So a big thing that people are complaining right now is about the minimap, because it doesn't show the red dots when you're shooting or whatever, like how it's supposed to in all old Call of Duties. And
yeah,
so
most Call of Duties,
they're pretty much saying as like, no, we kind of want to keep it that way, so it can kind of cater more towards the casual player. There's a lot of emphasis on all the stuff they're changing. They keep mentioning, casual players, aka campers. Because let's see, right here they say, because they don't want. Let's see, the design reason for this is that we do not want to punish players for firing their weapons. We also want players to search out the gunshot versus just traveling directly to where the dot is. So, I guess. And then also they mentioned the dead silence because people want it as a perk again, which I guess is understandable. But they said, no, we don't want to reward the rushers for playing aggressive. And so they're saying that dead silence should be a perk, basically, so that way, you kind of earn it, or you just get it over time, so that way the rushers can't necessarily absolutely smash the campers. And then the perks, they're like, we like it. It's nothing. I mean, it's not too bad, but they're gonna kind of buff the what is it, like the last tier? I don't remember what it's called, but because it's a tier system now, so they're gonna be buffing the last one. And then, because that's still based on time. Let's see what else. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And a lot of people are now starting to get mad because in 2019, this is how the game was before, and people were complaining about all this stuff in 2019, and they haven't changed it for Modern Warfare 2. But at the same time, they're saying we're listening, but they're not making changes that people want. So they're in hot.
Yeah, I think because Call of Duty does have a big sweat problem.
Yeah.
So I think, of course, adding the ranked mode, like that's been leaked, I believe, before, like already, right?
Yeah.
Will probably solve a lot of that, hopefully, because there is a certain component where the skill gap, right, is getting a little up there, right? Like, so if you're just a casual player where you play on the weekend, you just can't compete, and the game's not fun at that point, right? Because no one wants to get on the game just to die and lose. You go like 3-11, right? And you're not having a good time. You're gonna probably turn off the game. So they are. It makes sense to cater to a casual audience. However, their biggest and well, I guess their biggest cash cow really is not just the casual gamer. It's the hardcore. They're buying the skins. They're buying this. They're buying that. They're putting the hours in, right? They're always playing it. They're always grinding it out. So it is difficult because they want to serve a wider audience, but their core audience is
the hardcore,
hardcore or sweats or not just that, but it's the competitive player where they're like, no, I don't want to be fighting some camper in the corner.
Exactly.
You know, so it does get a bit difficult because they have to choose, right? Whether it be going casual or more hardcore and blah blah blah. Because you're not going to make everyone happy. There's no way. Like that's just impossible, right? You're not going to make everybody happy, right? Because then you put I mean, to me, the mini map not having the red dot, it's not the biggest deal breaker for me personally, but I understand why it makes sense though, right? Because I understand both sides where they're like, oh well, they don't want to shame the person for firing their weapon, right? Because then everyone just runs silencer, right? Yeah. So because there is the aspect where it's like, well, since it doesn't show up on the mini map, running silencer isn't pretty much a necessity. So like the recoil booster and like the other, well, I don't know if we have a recoil booster yet, but the point is like other stabilizers and barrels, right? You don't have someone just running silencer for every single build because that's what a lot of builds are, is that you run silencer so you don't show up on the mini map. So it does add a certain level of freedom, but I also understand like, well, you know, that's a core Call of Duty mechanic. So it kind of like taking that out is, I don't know. It's just, it seems like we're just not going to be able to make everyone happy, and we have to. And just Call of Duty has to decide: are they going to serve the core fan base, the sweats, the filthy or the filthy casual who just goes and plays like once on the weekend or whatever, and then
camps a corner for 20 minutes.
Yeah, and they. The hard part is, like camping's always been a problem in Call of Duty. But if we're being honest, camping is a problem in pretty much every FPS, right?
Yeah, it's like every single game.
It's just because it's so powerful, right? Camping in the corner is very powerful, right? Because you have the advantage. So you have the advantage, and especially with the low time to kill, it just is. It's just I've always said that if you camp, I think that there should be a counter that if you camp for in a place longer than 10 seconds, there's like advanced UAV on you, and then everyone can see you. So it stops people from just sitting in a corner, or not even advanced UAV, but like you just show up on the board, and I think that like a dot, like you would show up for a few seconds or whatever, and then it resets. So that's what I would say would be the best solution if bullets or firing your weapon doesn't show up on the radar. I think that at least some sort of but if you're camping in the corner for longer than like 5 to 10 seconds, you show up on the UAV for like 3, and then it resets it like every now and then. Or like you even show up as like a really light red pulse where it's kind of like it can be kind of hard to miss it if you're not paying attention. Like something where, because then people are going to be going for the campers, it's going to disincentivize camping, because if people can see where you are, oh well, buddy, you hiding in the corner with your deployable cover, and then your claymore, and then your what's the little electric thing on the ground that you
Oh
throw
yeah.
so
Also
that
now
it
they have
makes
a
you shoot.
decoy as well.
Oh yeah, the decoy. I've been seeing that a lot, where you put the decoy
Yeah,
right
that
there
thing
with the
gets me
deployed
sometimes.
cover. It does get me, and I just shoot it so that it destroys it. Like that's
Yeah.
what I usually do to destroy. I'm like, oh okay, it's a decoy. But yeah, so it's like, if we do something like that, I think that'll be a reasonable enough balance change. But I don't know. I mean, it
I don't
depends.
think
I
they'll
would
do
like to.
that though, because they've already like acknowledged the campers. They call them like sentinels or something like that. Which I don't think I've ever heard Call of Duty ever acknowledge. Like, yeah, we know there's
They're trying to make it
campers.
sound cool. Like, nah, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
it's
like
okay.
sentinels.
I'm fine with
Shut
light
up.
camping, right? Like you're
Yeah.
low on health, you're gonna sit in the corner, recover, you gotta reload, whatever. Like you don't gotta be running
Well,
around
I mean,
sweating and
there's a
you
difference
know.
between like campers and like position holders. So like if you're holding that position, but you're still kind of like running around in like your quote unquote zone, sure, that's fine. But if you're literally just like what's that one map? I don't remember what it's called, but there's a building to the left side of the map, and you have to like climb up a little stair.
Okay.
I've already faced a few campers like just mounted right there waiting, so it's like that's not okay. But if it's like a power position or something, sure.
That's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure I'm not okay. Like I'm not some mad genius here coming up with my solution. I'm pretty sure half of the game developers are on there like, oh yeah, we can totally just add like a little UAV thing for people who stay there too long.
Well,
Like they
yeah, or
probably
just have them blow
can.
up.
Like I'm pretty sure someone's probably brought it up to like their lead game dev or like to like their producer and being
Hmm.
like, hey, what if we add this? And they're like, no, like because then it's gonna piss people off. Okay,
Yeah.
well, it's gonna piss off the campers, right? Like they're like, oh, what do you mean I can't be in the corner or I can't stay in this one building for the whole game? And it's like, I don't know. It's something like where I think most people would be pretty happy with the solution that
Hmm.
I've kind of come up with. But I'd be interested, like if you're listening on YouTube in the recording, drop a comment, let us know. Do you think the solution would be that to add some sort of UAV for campers that they sit in a corner for too long? You can kind of like see them on the map, and then you
Hmm.
can go after them real easy because then you'll know where they are. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, I
but
think it'd be interesting to see like what other people's thoughts are on that. But I think for in general though, I think Modern Warfare 2 has been pretty solid. My
yeah.
main issue is that like, and this is just mine, I find it kind of hard to see sometimes what I'm
Yeah,
shooting at.
they fixed that or are
Uh,
going to fix it.
okay, because like the visual recoil of everything and like how the sights are and all that,
Hmm.
it just makes it a little tough. I think everything's just a little too gray. Like I think that's what it is. It's like everything's kind of like the outline of everything kind of just like blends in and
Oh,
meshes a little
also
bit.
like you can't see the bad
So
guy, right?
yeah,
That's
like
also being fixed.
yeah, like it's just a dark and like gray game. So
Uh-huh.
like there's not like a lot of contrast to like what you're shooting and looking at.
Right.
So that's just, I mean, we've had that issue for a while now, or even like in Modern Warfare where you get the rose skin, right? And
Hmm.
then you're just going around Warzone and then you sit in the corner and then you're like, what? And then you're like, yeah, so it's always been an issue. Um, I think gunplay for in general, like I like it. I like that it does feel heavy. It does feel heavy. It does remind me of an older Call of Duty game where you
Hmm.
didn't have all these like you can slide and dolphin dive and stuff, but it's not where it just carries you right with like
Yeah.
slide canceling, right?
Yeah, they're
Even though
also
people
gonna make it
have
worse too.
yeah, like people have kind of like, oh, we brought back slide canceling and this and that. I'm like, dude, just play it like the old CODs, man,
I
where
know.
it was
There's a
just
clip, Ricky, already of a guy who's like moving like super fast, and it's like, dude, you need to like even like people who are commenting is like, why? He's like, I can't wait till he replaces his controller in a week. It's like, just chill,
yeah.
man. Just God.
The thing is because like we've come across those guys too, and like yeah, they'll break the like your camera and stuff here and there,
Hmm.
but 90% of the time you just stand there and you're like, what is this dude doing? And then you just shoot
Just
them and they die.
just smack
It's
them, they're
like
dead.
like sometimes you come across a real schmovement king and then like
Yeah.
he just mixes you up. Like that's happened, but like I kind of just want to go back to like yeah the old Call of Duty where you just like running and gunning it at
Yeah,
each
which is this
other.
one essentially, right?
And yeah, they kind of brought it back and they slowed things down.
Hmm.
So I do kind of appreciate that because while I think that yeah, it's kind of funny, like slide canceling and like mixing people up, whatever. Like it's just
Hmm.
it's one. It's not supposed to be in the game. Like it's a glitch.
It's an exploit.
Yeah. So it's like, it's one
Imagine
of those
they
things
start
where
banning people.
for slide canceling.
Yeah.
Like
You're
they match your
exploiting?
input, and then so you gotta swing input. It's the Konami code, but for like banning, and then so it's like, yeah. I mean, people really want slide canceling back. It is kind of weird not slide canceling, to be honest, because I'm so used to it.
Yeah,
where I do it like I'm trying to do it. I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, no, I don't slide cancel. But yeah, in terms of just like everything else, though, I mean, what do you think of the Gunsmith fan?
The gunsmith is still like pretty darn confusing to me, but I do like that. Essentially, like if you use like the M4, it branches out into what was it, like 4 different weapons. Like one's a submachine
Yeah, you get like the
gun.
M16.
Yeah, and then the other one becomes like the battle rifle, whatever. I do like that, and like you kind of, I mean, you are kind of forced to play all the guns in order to have all the attachments. So like, cause like I remember when I was playing, like somebody had the M4 with the the Cronus sight, which is like the green dot, and I was like, wait, I don't have that. How do I unlock it? And it's like you don't unlock it until you unlock the submachine gun, and then once you level up a little bit with the submachine gun, then you get the sight. But then that sight you can now officially put it on the M4. So it's like everything kind of does blend in pretty well, and it's like not that hard like to grind it, right? Like I got all 4 weapons in like one playthrough, so. It's not too bad. I'm just curious how they're going to make that work for camos. I don't know if it's going to be for like each like sub gun or whatever, or is it going to be just for like the main one, or I don't know.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting how they're going to handle the camos. But yeah, I mean, so far Gunsmith's fine. The perk thing, it's take it or leave it. I don't really care. For me, I don't really care about perks too much. Like, I can take it or leave it, however they usually do it, as long as it's not too overpowered. Let me think. Maps. What do you think of the maps? I think the maps are okay. Some of the spawn points, are off.
Yeah, which is to be expected. They always suck on betas. I think they're a little too big.
Really?
Yeah. Well, what's the one? The one in Mexico, I think, right? That one's a good size. Like I like it. I mean, I'm not against like big maps, but I feel like some of them are like, man, I'm running for like 20 minutes and then I find somebody. So maybe if they have smaller maps, possibly.
Okay.
But I mean, they're still good. I didn't play a map and I was like, I hate this map. I liked them all. The only map I didn't really play was Museum or whatever it's called. I don't know if you played on that one, but I didn't really get to try that one.
I don't think
it's the one they showed in the Call of Duty event.
Yeah. I mean, for me, the maps are. I mean, I'm usually used to like bigger maps, right, where you have to run for a bit before you get into a fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think they're fine. Whether they get a little bit bigger, I'd be fine with. A little bit smaller, I'd be fine with. I'm not too picky on the map. I think for the most part they're fine. Just we got to fix that respawn system, because there's a few times I would spawn and die, and I'm like, well,
that happened at the event as well.
Yeah, so it kind of sucks, but it's not that big of a deal. I think overall it's a well-rounded Call of Duty. I don't think.
I mean, people like it. Like everyone likes it, so
I don't think it's be like the best Call of Duty ever, or I don't think it's gonna be the worst. I think it's just gonna be another installment, and I think it's
Vanguard was the best Call of Duty. What do you mean? So
yes, yeah. But yeah, I think overall Call of Duty is very solid. I don't know. I think you're gonna end up buying it. I think I'm just gonna get Warzone and only play that.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what it is.
I'm buying it because I think the multiplayer is gonna be better than Warzone 2.
You think so?
And especially because I don't know if you can even play the DMZ or whatever without the Call of Duty game. I don't know if it's going to be free or whatever. So that's also another thing we have to think about. But, I'm glad. And then the beta is, again, this weekend for
but that's
everything,
open
actually,
PC, right? Which we're probably going to be doing that. And we're going to try to stream that, because we tried streaming the PS4, but...
Also like 600 ms, but yeah. So I mean, but they are fixing the game already, which is good. Like they're changing the user interface. I know that was a big issue for us.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing. I was like, what the heck is this UI? That is the most like disgusting and worst UI. Whoever was the UI like lead designer, whoever for that, Like, my gosh, never design anything like important. Like, gosh, I bet they would have a slider for like 911, where like you'd
Yeah.
have to go through all the phone numbers and then go back and then okay 9 and then do it's
Yeah.
like that was terrible. I was like, so quick play like was different. Like the way they did it, I was like, wait, is this the main menu? And then I would press circle and it would log me out. I'm like, oh no, that was the
Oh
menu.
yeah.
And
And it's like, wait, I'm supposed to hit home? I thought this was home.
yeah, it was terrible. But I guess to kind of talk about the other stuff though is that we got the GTA 6 and Diablo 4 leaks though. In terms
Yeah.
of, did you guys see gameplay?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't want to.
Okay, I saw a little bit of GTA 6
But
leak
apparently, it's 90
because
videos.
yeah, it's like hours of footage and hours of gameplay and like it's just people are talking so much trash on like the games. They're like, "Oh, this game looks terrible," and blah blah blah. And I'm like,
Oh
"Dude,
my!
it's not
It's a
even a.
leak.
It's not. It's a leak. It's not even a proper
Oh,
build, right? Like one, it's not even a playable build. It's like in their debug. They're still adding things. The game's
there's probably
barely
like no
playable.
assets.
Yeah. So actually, looking at the GTA 6 stuff was pretty good. I was like actually like, whoa, they actually did all that. Like they had a good amount of stuff just from what I was kind of seeing. I was like, hold on, like that's actually they actually got pretty far in that.
So coming soon then, huh?
No, I mean it's still years off, but
Oh,
it just I don't know, dude. Like people were like, "Oh, this game looks bad," and blah blah blah. I'm like,
that's so
it's
stupid.
not even released. It's like me like booting up Unity, and then I add like some movement, and then I have a cube in the world, and then someone comes in,
Your
it's
game
like, "Oh,
sucks.
your game sucks, man." I'm like, I barely have the movement going. I can shoot. Oh no, your game sucks, man. Like,
Your
stop
cube
making the
doesn't even look
game.
like a square.
Yeah, and it's like, come on, guys. Like, let's be honest. I think people just it's popular to hate on the internet, right? Like because you
I
can,
hate it.
and then so it's just so easy. But the main thing though that I wanted to talk about though was that how that people are kind of like taking dumps on the devs because they're like the game's so bad, right? Like, oh, why does the game look like this? And then how, I mean, Rockstar. Uh, how do I word it? Like they already came out, made their statement with like, oh yeah, we're kind of sad that like, things got leaked and we're
Mm-hmm.
gutted or whatever, and
Yeah.
we need to keep. But the timeline still hasn't changed or anything
Mm-hmm.
like that. Which it's fine. I hope it doesn't change because the leak. But it's just like you do realize you guys are shooting yourselves in the own foot. Like when you're complaining about the game and like tweeting these devs out, right? Like they're not going to be wanting to work on the game anymore now.
Yep.
Like the morale is probably
Yep.
kind of low right now because then
Yep.
people are like, hey, I spent the last year working on this game. People are telling me that it's crap. I don't want to work on it as much or not as passionate. And then so when the game comes out and people are like, oh yeah, I was right. It's like, no, you just gave the developer depression. Like that was it. Like that's all you did.
Oh,
Like
jeez.
you won. Like wow, you won. You just ruined that man's self-esteem for
Yeah, good job.
putting this
You
life's
literally killed
work
GTA
into.
6.
Yeah, like I don't think the fan base is. I mean, I'm being a bit hyperbolic, but like I don't think the fan base is realizing like they're killing GTA 6 with the dialogue that's happening around it, right? Like you're going in just trashing the game. It's like a pre alpha. Like it's like I don't even know how to word it. It's like it's just such an early build, or it's like
build
dude,
0.
because it's not even their most recent build, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's from like a year ago or something. So
Oh
it's
my
just
gosh.
like I don't know, but it's like people are just going crazy on it, and it's just like guys, like relax, man. Like and it makes me sad because it's like it makes people not want to make games. You know what I mean? Like these developers, like they talk about it all the time that they can't look at Twitter, because then it's just like everybody's just like ripping into it. Like it's different to be like, I don't like the game, and it's different to send like a death threat, right? Like
Yeah.
I think people just don't know the difference a lot of the times at this
Sadly,
point now.
they
Where it's
don't,
like,
especially with what's going on. Nobody knows the difference.
yeah,
Like,
it's just and then of course Twitch is on fire with everything, so it's just like it's just really not a good time for gaming right now.
Content in
unfortunately.
general.
Just content creation in general, yeah. Because like even like going into the other thing, right? Nintendo's like, oh yeah, Nuzlocks are basically ROM hacks, and while they kind of walked it back, right? Like that, like, and we're like,
Allegedly.
oh well, yeah, allegedly they walked it back, where they're like, oh, well, you know, straight from the horse's mouth. They're like, oh, what did you say? I got an ad. I have to disable my ad blocker, but basically they're just like, oh, well, it's just because, you know, if you release Pokemon and consider them dead by releasing the Pokemon, that goes against like Pokemon's core like mechanics of like love and friendship. So like, you know, that's why we don't like it, or whatever. Like it was something like that, and I was like, what?
Yet they have a graveyard of Pokemon dead. Like what?
Yeah, and like people were like, what about your manga? And
Yeah.
like
What?
didn't technically Ash die in the first movie?
Yeah.
Like, and it's
Exactly.
like,
We
you
all
know,
cried. Don't worry. We were there.
and then like it was like death
Nintendo,
is not like
Nintendo is just so stupid for even like
The thing
saying
is,
this.
I guess I'm upset because it's like, oh, dude, just Nintendo makes good games, but just the company itself, right? It's just so incompetent at times, where it's
Well,
like
they
their
don't listen.
online
They don't
services,
know their fans.
because they're stuck in like the early 2000s or like the 80s and 90s still,
Yeah.
when like remember how it was such a fight just to be able to stream on Twitch
Yep.
the kind of like Nintendo game, like any kind of Nintendo game, Pokemon or whatever, like even
Mm-hmm.
making YouTube videos where like people, they were getting like copyright strike,
Mm-hmm.
and like all this stuff. So it's just like it's always been such a fight with Nintendo because they're never willing, like they're just so stuck in a certain mindset when it comes to games, that it's just, if they would just sit there honestly and be like, hey, you know what? We're not going to say people who enjoy the game and play it slightly differently are like basically hacking, right? Like
Oh my
that's not. And then even
gosh.
ROM hacks, let's be honest, ROM hacks are not that big of a deal, dude. Like, come on
Yeah.
now, right? Like, how many times has someone made like even a fan Pokemon game and it gets taken down, right? Like,
But do you think like that one makes more sense though? Like if somebody making a rip off Pokemon game, but using
so
like their IP and stuff.
my thing is, if they're making money off of it, then that's when sure the
Oh,
company can
okay.
be like, oh yeah, like if you're doing it totally fan made, self funded, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
it's fine. But when you start like releasing the game and you're like, oh, I want $30 for this product, and I'm
Right.
gonna, you know, then I'm like, okay, hold on, you're using somebody else's
Oh, okay.
property, but you know, I mean, it's Pokemon, so I'm not really gonna be like, oh no, they're losing billions of dollars, you know, like one of the largest, like, you know,
They'll make it back in the day.
yeah, well, you know, I'm not crying and like I'm not gonna, you know, rat them out. Like I'm just gonna be like, well, I mean, technically you are breaking the law, I guess, but I'm not really gonna be the one to get all like up
Yeah.
and about it. Like they're not gonna be the thousands of dollars they lost out. They don't really care. It's just that they don't like it when people use their stuff, and it's, I don't know. It's just kind of like stupid. Like I think that's such like a. It just kind of says a lot about like Nintendo's kind of like how they
Mm-hmm.
view a lot of their customers and how people enjoy their games. Uh, it's just like they were gonna do that on the main. So the whole thing came about because uh, I guess Nintendo had like a little YouTube channel, Nintendo
Mm-hmm.
Minute, and so they were gonna do a Nuzlocke run, right? Like, so the
Yeah, they
people who
asked.
were running it were like, "Oh, why don't we do a Nuzlocke run?" And then that's when they were told, like, "No, that's basically ROM hacking or blah blah blah." And then so that's where this kind of happened at.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just wish Nintendo would learn to evolve a little bit more. That's really it, because it's like their online services are bad. They never do sales, basically. Uh, like that are for like their mainline Nintendo stuff. Like a Pokemon game is typically $60, even if it came out
Yeah.
5 years ago, right? Like, you know, you're buying it digitally, and it's like $60 still. So it's kind of lame. But yeah. So the other thing I want to talk about is that we are getting a Constantine too. It's been confirmed. We don't know anything really about it. We just know Keanu Reeves is coming back. We don't know who's coming back as what, or outside of that, what the movie's going to be about. Of course, we know it's Constantine, and he's going to be kicking butt, and he's going to be, you know,
That's
the
gonna be very
hell and
interesting.
angels, and Yeah, because I actually saw Constantine not too long ago, maybe like a couple months back, and I really liked it. And I was like, why did they never make a sequel? And then we basically get this.
Oh, see, you brought
But
it into existence.
yeah, J.J. Abrams is supposed to be involved. But he's developing the Constantine series for HBO Max. So I'm not like, even the article right here for Empire is not sure if they're ditching, like giving up on the series, or we're going to the movie only, or if the movie's going to happen and then the series, which would make more sense that you have the movie and then the series. But the thing is, like, are they going to get Keanu Reeves now to do the series? And then are they, you know what I mean? Which I'm pretty sure he'd be willing to do the series, but who knows? Who really knows? But yeah, I'm kind of down because I know that the Constantine for the movie, right? I don't follow a lot of the comic books, but but from what I understand, the movie's kind of like a slight departure from the comic books. So it'd be interesting.
Definitely not Constantine, I guess. Like his charisma, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, like how some of the characters kind of like written, and but I'm interested. I like this. I don't know about you guys. I don't know about chat or anything, but I'm pretty interested in another Constantine movie. So I guess we'll come back in like 2 years and be like, all right, let's do the review. So we'll see how it goes.
It sucks.
Yeah, dude. I'll be so disappointed. It's another Matrix 4 situation.
Oh, don't start. No, don't put that.
Right, I won't even. I won't. Yeah, I won't put that into existence, guys. Sorry about that. And then we're getting a Gran Turismo movie. Fan, you can handle this, dude. That was so stupid. I'm tired, Fan. I'm just so tired.
Yeah, I didn't know this until I looked it up yesterday, but they're making a Gran Turismo movie. In case for whatever reason you don't know a Gran Turismo movie, it's like a racing simulator with no story, no plot, no nothing, just you driving around a racetrack and nice cars. And now
simulation, so
yeah, and then now they're making a movie, and like what's his name? David Harbour is gonna be in it. Orlando Bloom's gonna be in it. So they're getting like a lot of big names for this movie, and apparently it's gonna be out August 11th. I'm assuming next year. Maybe? Nope. Just kidding. Schedule shooting. There you go. So, I don't play racing games. I don't know why they're making a movie. Do you play racing games, Ricky? No. Like, I don't. How do you make a movie about racing around tracks?
And people watch NASCAR driving, so there's.
Yeah, but even then, there's like, I guess like somewhat of a story, but like this game is literally nothing. So, I don't know. But apparently, where was it? I read that like it's gonna be about a driver,
teenage driver.
Yeah, where is it?
Whose gaming skills won a series of Nissan competitions to become an actual professional car driver. And then Harper will play a retired driver who teaches the team to drive.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
That's why I forgot where it was. So it's literally somebody played the game or whatever. It becomes a professional driver. Maybe this is like a scheme, like, hey, maybe we're gonna start doing that in real life. You're really good at racing simulator, like with the actual like car, like the seat and the steering wheel, so maybe now you gotta be a professional driver.
Hey, you're pretty good at this flight simulator game. Wanna go? You wanna
fly?
Yeah, you wanna fly an airplane? My gosh. All right, I'm pretty much done. I don't got much to say on that. That's like, why?
Well,
stupid.
Actually, one more thing. Breaking news. Former PlayStation executive Sean Layden has joined Tencent Games. Do you know who that is? He's usually the guy that... Sean Layden. He's usually the guy that talks for PlayStation, like on the shows. He just joined Tencent as a
that guy?
advisor.
I had to look him up because I don't remember what he looked like. Oh, shoot. That's interesting. Yeah, well, I guess Tencent's just going to start taking over. I mean, they own a lot of the gaming industry already, but that's going to be very interesting.
Also, Microsoft is looking to acquire more IPs or more companies to be as big as Sony and Tencent. So the wars have begun, both on Twitch and the video games.
they've been
and the
going,
movies.
boys.
Everything's on fire, and we're just here to watch it all burn. Hooray.
Yep, but we'll keep you up to date.
Yep,
we'll keep you up
that's
to
for
date
sure.
with the burning of the gaming industry and Twitch. But
Woo!
anyways, if you enjoyed what you guys were listening to today, we'd very much appreciate it if you guys give us a like and follow if you're listening to the pre-recorded version. If you're here with us live, we very much appreciate it if you do drop a follow and let us know if you like the podcast today. And follow us on our Instagram and all social medias, Twitter and Hover and all that. We're at Past the Pop Culture on pretty much every single platform. You'll be able to find us. And that will let you guys know when we're going live, or we also do little polls. Let us know, like, hey, are you excited for this year's Call of Duty? Or, does pineapple belong on pizza? That's the question that needs to be answered. So yeah, we very much appreciate when you guys join the polls. If you are, again, listening to the pre-recorded version and you're on whatever platform, podcast listening platform that you're on, we very much appreciate if you do like a 5 stars, a heart, a thumbs up, however it works on there. We very much appreciate it. And yeah, I think that's it. That covered everything. So thanks for listening, guys.